Alright, so this is our current build of Keepin. Everything is built and working, we just have to connect a few things. So if you can see here, these are some recently added items. And when you're using the app, the full version, you'll be able to just take a picture or a video as you're putting stuff away, and the app will automatically identify what they are. So it sees these as baby bells, and it can read labels: Tahine, a Game Boy, and an alicorn. And so when it does these types of things, it also, you're able to register the location of the container as well as the container itself that the item goes into. Or if it's just out in the open, that is okay as well. Yeah. And it will automatically create these descriptions and tags for you to search for them better. But you're also able to add to and customize that. So when you go into the ask phase, which we will implement very soon, hopefully within the next week or so, you can say, oh, hey, I would like a keychain, and it can pull up the Game Boy or the alicorn. Or, hey, I would like something to eat. It could pull up the baby bells or the tahine. And you can just pretty much customize your user experience for all kinds of things that you would like to do.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back. It's good to see everybody here. We're here to announce that if you're watching this, the Kickstarter is live today. You can go check it out. It's available fully, Keepin.AI/Kickstarter. Um, we've been waiting a long time for this. We've been working on it for a long time. This is kind of a big moment for Keepin and for everybody who's been following the journey. It's an exclusive opportunity to get the Keepin app, to get the subscription, to get in on the perks, the features early, and for a lot cheaper than it would be when the app is fully launched, when the Kickstarter is over.
Yeah, all right. I hope y'all are excited for this as much as we are. Oh my goodness. You know, in development, it's like you think it's about ready, it's a little longer, and then it's a little longer. But we're here. We're here, we're ready, and we're really excited for it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's always like that. I feel like when you're trying to perfect something, there's never actually a finishing touch. It's always, in that draft mode.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think taking a little bit more time, consulting with people, talking a bit more with the developer, we've actually figured something out that is way better for everyone. We've simplified the subscription at the Kickstarter level. We'll have special Kickstarter pricing that will be like quite a bit lower than we anticipate it to be later on. So you can get in and get a good deal on that. And on his recommendation, we've dropped it even more. So yeah.
Yeah, I feel like the price we've been trying to nail that down. I feel like this is a good price for everybody. It works. It works for us, and it's not too much on for the consumer. It makes people feel like, they're getting something, and it's not going to hurt the bank, but it will give them that proper intro into the keeping kind of world of products, gives them a little bit of goodies, some physical products, a little bit of digital access.
Absolutely. And I guess with your subscription at certain tiers, y'all will be able to try the beta access. So if you want to like hop in a bit early, see how things are going, maybe it's not the finished product, but you want to try it out, see what's up, we'll have that available for you. And as well as some NFC and QR stickers, as you might know about, and a bunch of other different merch. And as well as, well, we're going to have some stretch goals. I think we have a few planned out right now, and maybe we have some more depending on, how interested people are.
Yeah, and we have a little demo at the end of this video, at the end of this webinar, for people to see how that beta might look, how we're kind of looking right now. So that's going to be cool to show. Stay tuned to the end to see that.
Yep. And I guess we could show the app on the phone itself as well as the responses. Remember, I shared with you some responses about the chatbot working, and basically it's working as planned, and the computer vision and everything. So it's like, I guess the only thing we have to do is just stitch everything together, and it should be all set.
Yeah, I'm really excited for people to see this stuff at the end so that they can actually see what everything's looking like, see the progress. It's a big update since last time I feel like we've shared anything with people. So that I think people will be happy about that. Um, and yeah, and we have a few other things just on the agenda. We have a few like topics, some news to talk about. We also have a call with the main one of the main developers of Keepin, just to give people kind of a little summary of what they can expect today from today's webinar. So yeah, you'll be able to get a little glimpse into the team to be able to hear from the developer himself, from Rishi, about how things are going, about the future of Keepin, features that they're working on, some challenges that they faced, and kind of the journey, the development process. Sorry, it's a little late here.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's like, I hope for us night owls, this is the best time of the day, but for everybody else,
Yeah,
but I'm very excited for Rishi to show what he's been doing. I'm not even sure, like, did he talk about the hand stuff in that video? That if he
y-
did, I can, yep. So basically, he has worked on something incredibly difficult. Only someone as talented as and skilled as him could do. He has worked on for a very long time hand detection with the items. So basically, just because the app sees a bunch of items doesn't mean it's just going to automatically catalog everything. It will only pay attention to what you touch, what you grab and pick up, and it will understand that this is important to you. And then once you put it away, it'll remember that item out of a bunch of others it might see. And I think that's amazing.
Yeah, that no, that's and it's unique to keep in. And as he was explaining, that's something that's they've had as a little bit of a as a challenge to them that they've been working on that they've had to overcome. And it's awesome to see that they've been able to pull it off. And nothing, as people have said, nothing good ever comes easy. Nothing good just is given to you. So it's always a good sign. I've worked with a lot of startups and probably about 15 companies in total in as I've been marketing. And it's rare when you see such a combination of like I feel like, and people have heard this many times from other people in the marketing space, but I feel like you can either there's two things you can do. You can either find something that's in demand and figure out how to create it, or you can find something that you can create that's tangible that you have the skills to make, and then find a way to make people demand it. And I feel like Keepin is a rare instance of a little bit of both because it's tangible in a sense that it was able to, you were able to get it started and get started on working on it. But there are these challenges where like the hand thing, that's something completely new, but it's not so impossible where sometimes I see people, have an idea that's so out of this realm that, but maybe it will be needed someday, but it's just not even tangible or possible. But this is like, it is in demand, people do need it. And as time's going on, it seems that it's actually becoming more and more tangible because like these problems that are coming up, Rishi was saying at first it seemed very difficult and then now it's being solved. So it's kind of like when you look back at stories of like Apple. I heard this story where there was an iPod and Steve Jobs was trying to make it smaller and they couldn't make it smaller. They were saying the engineers were saying they couldn't. And so he dropped it in a fish tank and the little air bubbles that bubbled up, he was like, "Oh, you see that? That's air." So that means you can make it smaller. And so he kept pushing and kind of to make his vision a reality. And so I see that here kind of where it's like it's realistic, but in a sense also futuristic, where it's a little bit ahead of its time, but it's also possible.
Yep. Absolutely. And with the inception and the development of the project, we were always focused on how do we make this practical with things right in front of us. Where like many companies, they can think 10 or 20 years ahead, and that's good and that's very important in many instances. But right now, we're thinking what existing technologies that are proven can be combined to satisfy a need very quickly today. And I guess with that, we came up with all of these different things with the computer vision, smart item tracking, and organizing that we think could like really help a lot of people starting right now.
Yeah, and that's key right there is finding things that are possible today to fuel the innovation of tomorrow. Like leave the door open for, features to come along for new things that aren't available today, but using, tangible methods, tangible strategies to create things to fuel that innovation to come later. It is the key because then you have products that are available now to supply that demand right now, but also you can have the kind of the runway, the capital, and to build a foundation to build stuff in the future so it can keep evolving and kind of it's a rare balance, but you have to almost work for today, but also work 5 years ahead of time because you don't want to be playing catch up. In 5 years, when people's demands change, you want to be ready with the new technology, with the new product, with the new updates of Keepin. So it's good that there's something available for people now, but there's also, things in development for the future.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think there's also something about thinking and entering a new field as an outsider. I feel like a lot of people who have done that succeeded pretty well, or at least learned something, and in the next try, did something pretty incredible. Like I remember. Oh, okay, I think the Airbnb guys, they went to my school, they went to RISD, and I can't even remember what degree they went for, but nothing around whatever they're doing right now. And they created this completely new system. And also, I don't remember if I told you this, but I had classes with a visiting business professor, and he told us about how he used to teach those Airbnb guys. And when they proposed their idea to him, he said it was really, to put it kindly, foolish. Like, I think he went off on them more than he was telling us. And then as he was telling this story to us, he was just looking in the distance, just shaking his head, like, yeah, yeah, I didn't do good that day.
Wow.
Yeah,
Ooh, the regret he must feel today.
yeah. Oh my gosh, if he could go back in time, he would have probably been like, hey, hey, I'll be your mentor.
I'll invest right now. I'll
Yeah,
I'll 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 do whatever it takes.
yeah,
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 probably would have been a
yeah,
different tune.
yeah. So we never know, but a lot of stuff can who that's completely new can turn out to be helpful.
Yeah, that and that different perspective that like you said, it's like they were outsiders coming in, like their degree didn't even, correlate with what Airbnb is today. I think that helps in a lot of cases. There's a lot of examples of that. Like there's this guy who created an advertising company here in Boston, called Jim Mullen, who created Mullen Lowe, and they're pretty big and they sold to Interpublic Group or whatever, this big company that buys all the advertising agencies. Um, and he started it, and he was explaining that since he was like a sailor and just an explorer basically before he started an advertising agency, he was saying he had no standards of how things were supposed to be. So he just did things of how he felt was right. And so it allowed him to even raise the bar and raise the expectations because everyone else was just doing things like how everyone else was doing them. So they were just kind of copying the big companies, and he kind of had no standards for how to do it. So he was just going above and beyond always and just breaking people's, ideas and concepts of what advertising should be. And so it's like, yeah, sometimes it takes an outsider to come in to disrupt an industry. And so I think that is really important.
Yeah. Yeah, and just going in knowing that you're going to have to learn a lot, but that you have all this different knowledge that most people who are well ingrained in that won't, and doing that combination.
Yeah, yeah. It definitely it takes a lot of self-learning, self-starting. I feel like a lot of self-motivation.
That's for sure.
Yeah. Is there anything you do like any motivation things you do just in general? Like if you're ever
Mm.
feeling kind of in a rut?
Uh, Birds. My hobby is birds. It's okay. So if you're in New England, you know I tell this people all the time, but the Teddy brand unsalted peanut butter, they love that stuff.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah,
yeah, you were telling me, yeah.
yeah, yeah. If you're ever in a rut, just put a bird feeder outside your window. There's even ones you could just stick on the outside. Throw some seed, throw some peanut butter in there. They like the shelled and unshelled peanuts. And just open the window and stare at them when you're feeling sad. I guarantee you it does something.
Okay, nice. Okay, having the birds just come to you.
Yep, yep. And it's like in the spring, you see the babies and you see all the weird things they do to each other.
Okay, so okay, yeah, that sounds nice. A little bird watching, a little relaxation, kind of just yeah, okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. How about you?
Well, like recently I've been trying to if I'm in like a creative rut kind of, I try to actually just stop and do nothing for a little while. I guess kind of like meditate and think, but like just sit and, you try to actually think about like nothing related to creative work or nothing related to, what I'm working on. Just try to take my mind off of it and do nothing for a little while.
Yeah,
Because, yeah, I feel like sometimes I'll find myself like, if I'm in a little bit of a rut, I'll try to force myself to do more stuff. Like I'll put all these things on the to-do list or like I'll try to motivate myself. But recently I've been trying to do the opposite and just like take 30 minutes or like a little bit of time to just do nothing. And then I get so bored that I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do this now.
yeah, yeah, that's good. It's those moments of rest and recharge. It's I've had so many suggestions to do that through like the I just get like project after project. It half of it is great, but then there's that tiredness. So I'll take you up on that. Just a few minutes of rest every now and then, pretending that the workload isn't growing. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. And then then you just get so bored of doing nothing that you just get back to the work and you're like thankful for it.
Mhm. That's
'Cause
good advice.
yeah, I like sometimes I find like on vacation or something, if it's like a week where it's a vacation where I'm not doing much, like if I'm going to like, like a beach kind of resort or something like that, where there's not much to do and you're just kind of staying in that one enclosed place. After like a few days of doing nothing, I feel really like motivated to do things. Like nothing
Yeah.
like a little bit of nothing to get you to,
Yeah.
to get you going.
Yeah, I feel you. Oh my God, the best little bit of nothing I've ever had was on the beach at San Juan. It's like I told you before, you got to go to San Juan.
Yeah, I've never been to in Puerto Rico. I've been to like Rio San Juan in Dominican, but yeah, I've heard Puerto Rico's very nice.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We can both check out the other one. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's kind of for me like Dominican is like that for me. It's definitely my
Mhm.
place where I go to do a little nothing and then it's like by day 3, by day 4, I just find myself back on like my computer or doing stuff. So it's proven to me that it works.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, maybe we should talk about the Meta Ray-Bans.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. I sent this link to you a while back. It's up.
Yep.
I saw an ad for them and what they can do, and basically, in the patent that we have for Keepin, it says it can work with a wide variety of smart devices. So implementation with these, with item tracking, it would just be another step. Like the phone is already easy, but with these, you don't even need that.
Oh yeah. No, and this is great for keeping because yeah, it would integrate perfectly.
Yeah. And let's take a look at the article. It's should we show the article on the screen or should we?
Yeah, I can also so I can edit. I can edit all the articles in afterwards if we want to just both pull it up.
Oh yeah, sounds good. Yeah, I got it up. Let's see. Okay, I'm looking at the title now about how it can find your car, and yes, I will be buying this for my father. Yes. Hmm.
Yeah, this is honestly a great New Year's gift or like Christmas, holidays coming around.
Yeah. Oh, this looks really nice. It's like, and I think I saw an ad where you're just wearing it, and you can just say out loud the glasses, take a picture of that, translate that, uh, and so many other things. I think it obviously can already do item identification, but I'm not sure if they have, as wide of a inventory management type thing going on with their software. But
Mm.
if we implemented that, mm,
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I feel like theirs is maybe just for now, it's just with like probably finds or saves the location of your car, maybe. Like probably similar to kind of like Apple Maps, but this is just it does it automatically. Like you know how sometimes on Apple Maps it will save like where you parked and it will tell you like car parked here. Um Maybe just when you're exiting your car in like a parking garage, I think they might just be like saving the location of your car. And then when you come back around, it kind of just like leads you there.
mhm, yeah, that looks cool. Oh, in this picture, I gotta read the article a little further, but in this picture, it seems like there's numbers on each parking section, so they could probably remember from that quite easily. But
Yep.
let's see. Did it say something about location tracking?
No, I'm actually reading it. It says in response, Meta AI said like you parked in space 9702. So I guess it will just scan like if it can see the parking space. But
Yeah.
yeah, so
Hmm.
I'm wondering like if there isn't a parking number though, how that would play for them.
Uh, Maybe it could go off. It could go try to go off surrounding cars, but then it would also have to account for that could change depending on how long you're there. Even all the cars could leave and then new ones could replace it.
Right.
Hmm. Yeah, but I mean, this is already pretty good. So I think there's always ways to figure stuff out. Along the way when we were doing our thing, we kept thinking, oh, what about this? What about that? And found out that usually there was a pretty not too difficult workaround.
Yeah. Yeah. I think they'll probably work pretty smoothly. I feel like Meta will figure it out, but maybe at first it'll have a little bit of trouble with it. But it like yeah, the picture. I don't know how that will work if like every spot looks identical and like there's no numbers, then maybe it will get a little challenging. But
Mm.
yeah,
Hmm.
it's
Yeah,
definitely
they'll
very
figure it
cool.
out. Yeah.
Yeah, I could definitely use this sometimes because like even like here in Boston and like in New York, sometimes in like the big parking garages, all of it just looks the same.
If they ever have a 2-for-1 deal, just forward it to me. I'm getting one from my father, and it'll just work out.
Yeah, yeah, no, this is gonna be great. Yeah, I feel like I could definitely use this. It's gonna be good, like if you especially if you're in a rush, especially if you're in the city, like maybe even if this wasn't in a parking garage, like just where did I park? Like which street? Like that would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. And maybe something, I don't know if they're working on it, but they could do a thing where they're passing a bunch of you ever had the thing where you pass a bunch of stores, you're trying to find one, you can't find it, but you already passed it, and it could tell you that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
That would be really cool. Yeah, that'd be really cool. Like while you're, drop like pulling up to where you're going, kind of like looking for the exact spot. Hmm.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I- Yeah. Imagine in 5, 10 years we're gonna have all these things and wonder how we lived without them.
Yeah. So yeah, just like how people kind of wonder how people lived without GPS, like driving with the physical maps.
Yeah, especially in Boston. Oh my God.
Yeah, I still remember like my grandpa would have like physical maps, like paper maps, and he would like find the routes and like even like reading the maps was kind of like complicated because there'd be all these highways that like intermix. So you have to like figure out which one you're taking and remember all of it.
Oh gosh, and then you have to remember where you are on the map because sometimes it's hard to figure out, especially, oh, how did they drive at night? Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, and then yeah, at night it's even you literally it's just remembering it. You can't even like look at it or like if you can't turn that light on, I guess start reading all of them and while driving on the highway. So
Oh my
it's,
god.
definitely life is easier now, but
Yep, yep. If our ancestors survived, so can we.
yeah, but it will be even easier once things like this are mainstream and everyone's just walking around with glasses.
Mhm. Yeah. Ooh, maybe contact lenses one day. Well,
Yeah, yeah, and I guess glasses will become just kind of like a norm.
mhm.
Like you won't even like really notice if someone's wearing glasses, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. It's way better. Like, thank goodness they went with Ray-Bans for designer ones because if you compare this to the Google Glass, oh my God, I'm not gonna wear one of them.
Yeah, you just look like you're from like a sci-fi movie or something, like from Star
Is that
Wars.
why do they have I don't, I don't know what
Yeah.
yeah, maybe that ties back to thinking a little bit outside whatever your field is purely because if they just had somebody like a fashion designer on there, yeah.
Oh yeah. I think that was a great example of people being too close to the product where
Mhm.
it probably worked really well. Like I'm sure Google made really good software for it and it worked, but just looked a little too much like what it
Yeah.
is. You know what I mean? Like it just if you looked up smart glasses, I feel like that would be the definition picture. Like it looks like smart glasses.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, did they not figure out that almost no sunglasses have that shape or regular glasses, that there's a reason?
Yeah. It would be it wouldn't be surprising if they have like prescription glasses that will have like AR capabilities and stuff like that. Like just normal prescription glasses. Like people start getting that built in to just all their glasses.
Oh, that would actually be nice because I don't wear glasses because I only have a little bit of astigmatism, like 0.25, but I could have perfect vision all the time.
It would be kind of nice if they could make something that attaches to any kind of glasses. Because if
Mm,
people have prescription glasses, then sunglasses, you know what I mean? Like reading glasses, different kinds of glasses for whatever, different sunglasses for different days,
mhm,
like just one little attachment that just pops on the sunglass.
Oh, that would be nice. Oh
That
yeah.
would be really good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you're switching them out like designer sunglasses, regular glasses, and just oh, that'd be good.
Yeah, like a little, just a little thing that's like not super noticeable.
Oh yeah. And it's like there could be like an upcharge on this one, be like, hey, but you only buy one.
Exactly. One fits all, one size fits all.
Mhm.
Yeah, all in
Oh,
one.
that'd be good. Oh
Yeah. This kind of like little bit surprising, but just because because we the recent Boston AI forum video, uh you were giving the Keepin speech, the pitch, and there's been a lot of AI kind of events going on in Boston recently. This news didn't surprise me as much as I thought it was, but Boston was called like the capital of AI almost by
yeah.
a lot. Well, there's if you basically look up Boston AI capital, there's a ton of articles about it. But they were basically BU was basically saying that this report ranked Boston as the world's top AI hub.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. It's actually not so surprising for me because going back and forth between Boston and Manhattan, it's always been that Boston was more focused on tech, way more focused than even Manhattan, which was it was more more general business, maybe a lot of real estate, that kind of stuff in Manhattan, from my experience. And in Boston, it's just seeing everything emerging. And I think the Boston AI event, I think I told you next meeting. I shouldn't say this on the thing just in case. But next meeting, let's just say they might be planning somewhere even more special than the Microsoft Center, maybe.
okay, okay, yeah, we'll keep that as a little surprise for people, but they can check it out. You know, they can do some research, look up BAI forum, On Google, Eventbrite, you could find them, I'm sure,
Mhm.
if you just look up the AI forum. But we can include the links to their stuff as well, so you guys can find that in the in the description if you're watching this on LinkedIn or YouTube or whatnot.
Mhm. Last Saturday of every month.
Yeah, and it's cool to see it grow because the first one we went to, it was just a small group of people, and
Mhm.
then it's just yeah, it's been growing.
Yeah, yeah, and it's like sometimes it's like always knowing that like almost everything starts smaller, and then you look at the people, you listen to them, and you can see the dedication there, you can see the expertise, and from there you'll know, oh, they're going to do some really cool things.
Oh yeah, it everything. It's weird when people expect things to start big. Also, sometimes sometimes people like don't want to start something small. They almost feel like, oh, it's like I just want to run a big event, or you know what I mean, but or I want to run a big company. But everything great that people see today has started as a small concept, started as a small idea or a small group of people working on something, and then it grows. Um, and yeah, no, it's they've done a great job with it, and you could tell from the first meeting that everyone was interested in it, everyone wanted to learn. The community is good, and yeah, Boston's a good place for it. Like, I guess I took it for granted sometimes because I've grown up here, but it really is a major hub for, people who are interested in science, AI, tech, innovation. Like, there's all these events going on all the time, and like I remember going to some when I was like 13, 14, like at CIC Boston. And I just didn't realize how much of like not, I guess, a rare thing, but like if you're just like in the middle of the US or something, or like even in Western Massachusetts, there's not all these, tech events or tech things going on. So like it is really a gift that Boston has all this innovation and stuff surrounding it and going on here. You can learn a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. And I am so glad I moved back to Massachusetts.
Yeah, it's really rare. I mean, there's all the colleges around, so it's like there's all these people who are studying, and then there's all the professors on top of that, and then all the startups because everyone graduates, then starts startups here. So it's kind of just like a snowball effect of like, teachers and students and creators.
Mhm. Yeah, and if you go out there, you're going to meet new people. And if they're interested in your idea, and I'd say with all the people, you'll find one and they can help you excel. I remember I met one person. He was trying to develop this really clever way of holding and dispensing energy drinks. It was I'm not going to go into his whatever he's working on, but it was really incredible. And he was nervous but ambitious. And last I heard, he got an investor and he has at least one mentor. So yeah,
Oh wow. Yeah.
yeah.
So there you go. I mean, you never know will happen unless you try. So just go out there, and even if you have an idea that you're nervous to share, maybe you don't even have any idea yet of what you want to do, but you're just kind of interested in tech or AI, and you want to meet some like-minded people. Like it's a great place to be, and everyone's super welcoming.
Mhm. Absolutely. And you'll have fun sometimes. Whoa, it's like a lot of events. Oh, they have some good food at some of the events. Oh my gosh. One time I went, it's just like, I'd say it wasn't just regular sushi. It was like four-star sushi platters all over and like fresh baked goods and candies. You'll find some really good ones out there.
Yeah, if you're running an event too, that's a good tip to get people to show up. Get some good food.
Oh, you
Yeah.
can write it off. You can write it off.
Yeah, it's a good tax write-off. Get some good food for everyone and feed the people and get a little tax discount. It's a win-win.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, and the first time I went also, I'm not, super educated on like AI and tech, just in my own right, I mean, I'm curious about it, but I wouldn't say I'm an expert in the field or I haven't worked in tech. And so, but everyone was super welcoming and super easy to talk to, super down to earth. Like sometimes when it's all very smart people, you just feel like you're not going to understand anything they're talking about. But when people are very smart, they explain things in a very simple way. They explain things very well. So I feel like it's good even if you're a beginner or an expert, whatever level you're at.
Yeah, yeah. Just get in there, show what cool stuff you're doing, and they'll be interested in talking. Maybe they want to learn something too. Like maybe if they have their feet planted in tech, they want to learn a little bit of a design, a little bit of marketing, that kind of stuff. And you can always share what you have, and they'll appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely something for everyone. And speaking of like explaining things in simple ways and meta too, just staying on the meta track, they've also now they have a chat bot that speaks back to you. And basically they're allowing like they have John Cena voices, Kristen Bell, Keegan Michael Key, like a bunch of celebrities basically.
Oh, that's nice. Ooh, that's a big licensing opportunity for everyone there. Oh,
Yeah, yeah. So it's kind of like AI. Yeah, that's they're definitely getting paid a lot for that, and it's like a kind of like a virtual assistant, basically like ChatGPT, but it talks back to you, kind of like a Siri, but with AI.
oh my God. Okay. Oh, okay. So the John Cena one. Yes. Thank you for sharing that for me. Yes, already have a bunch of ideas. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like people might use end up using this to kind of just like get it to say certain things and then
Mhm.
use that for themselves.
Oh, it's like, oh, I can't see him. We can't see him.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of, I feel like, and I feel like there's a lot of talk in general about Mark Zuckerberg kind of like getting more trendy recently.
Yeah. Oh,
Like,
did you notice he grew out his hair?
yeah, the
He
hair.
looks human now.
Yeah, and everyone's saying he looks human. He got the human AI update. He got you know, the humanistic features update. Like, he got the cool update. Like, there's just a lot of talk about that. So I feel
Yeah.
like he's been kind of pushing to get these like trendy features and in meta stuff. Like he's getting the celebrity voices, trying to make it a little more cool for people.
I think it's not a bad plan actually. And also I'll say it's just he hasn't I didn't know he had nice curly hair like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from.
It's like, is that natural? That's not a perm, right? That's how your hair was?
Yeah, I mean, money fixes a lot of problems and, I mean, he grew up, I guess, at 40 or whatever, so it's
Good for
you,
him.
never too late, never too late. He's been wearing a lot of cool shirts. I guess he's been making his own t-shirts and stuff. Like,
Aw.
he had like a custom t-shirt for himself. Like I think like with his name on it or something. It was like Zuck or nothing. But like he's been just getting more trendy. So I feel like this is just the start. Like we're probably gonna see way more celebrity voices. Like he's probably paying a ton for each of these.
Mhm. Oh my, and this is remind. It's like, we probably can't ask people who are no longer with us, but I'm just remembering so many iconic voices and missing them. So it's like, but with the ones who are still around and can start to offer their services, I'm just imagining like all of the different ones that we could experiment with.
Oh yeah. I mean, if people like that, that would be cool in the future. Like if people want to make money, they can, just if and then they have a good voice or something, like they can say, give some, give some snippets of their voice recordings or whatever, and kind of get, maybe monetize that forever, where people can use that. But with people who aren't around anymore, that's interesting because there's like this whole concept, like in movies, like there's this trope where if someone like a loved one passes away, then they'll show someone listening to a voicemail of that person, like listening to like some audio of that person. So maybe it could be like for family members if they had that audio or like a voice memo or whatever that they had left, voice message, then maybe they could put that into the AI and have the AI, be able to say whatever to them and kind of have a conversation with them, maybe even.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think when it comes to those who are departed, it should definitely not be so much of a commercial use, but more of a personal ones to be decided by their relatives, to be decided by people who, if they chose to do it, they would be okay with. And this reminds me actually of a few different stories while I was networking. I remember one time someone was pitching this exactly like a startup where they would recreate a person's voice and inflections to be used specifically by family members. He had someone who he loved who passed away, and he just really wanted their voice again. And I also remember someone else where his father is alive and has recovered from the disease that was affecting his throat, but can no longer speak as he did, or I think speak at all. So he has been researching, I think, and trying to find a way to recover his father's voice for his father. And
Mm.
he's he's like, I think he was having a hard time, but he was trying to find old recordings, trying to figure out how to do it best so that, he and his father could find joy in just having that voice. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, that's very nice. I could see that being very nice for a lot of people because yeah, it's like if you could do like a whole personality too, like based on from maybe like a family video or something like that, where it could kind of talk back to you as if it's, in that same voice too, that would be great. I mean, yeah, it would definitely have to be for private use only because then it comes into this, it's like if it's like a person who's already deceased, how can they give, the permission for it to be used by everyone? So it would have to make sure, it would have to be reassured that like that doesn't get recreated or, that voice doesn't get, you know, out there.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Personal use only. Probably is giving a tool for the relatives to set it up for themselves and putting like disclaimers and stuff like this is only to be used if you have such rights, if you are next of kin or something. Yeah.
Yeah, like direct descent, direct family members, and like
Mhm.
even they probably like even direct family members shouldn't be allowed to like then go and start making like YouTube videos with like, their like uncle's voice or something like that, who just gave them no rights to use it.
Mhm.
And then
Yeah.
like they're making money off of it.
Mhm.
'Cause yeah, that
Yeah.
it's a sensitive area, I feel like.
Yeah, absolutely. And when it comes to these types of things, I think some people get scared of AI itself, generative AI itself, and they don't understand that it's how it's used. Like if someone has developed something where they are generating art and content from one that was trained off of art of someone who did not give permission, that is like even without the AI aspect, that is that is theft in itself, regardless of whether generative AI is involved or not. So the copyright that's where it's important. But if someone creates it off of their own art, if someone has the permissions to use it, then there is really no problem there. It's like
Yeah.
well, not much of a problem at least. It's like finding I guess just the basic legal stuff that this can be involved with in general should apply to generative and regular AI as well.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and it's like if someone gave you permission to, use their art, then that should be totally fine. There's no problem with that. I'm like, there's that one-off, like, I feel like the risk would be like if someone, had a family member who maybe didn't ever want to be in the public light or something, and
Mhm.
then
Mhm.
someone after they had already passed, and then their descendants start using their voice for like for for like shows or commercials
Mm,
or whatever, like for commercial use, then that's kind of like
mm,
dang, we really,
mm,
messed up because then this guy who just had this great voice but doesn't want to be, using it for so whatever reason, his own reasons, uh, is that now he's just ending up on all these
mm.
commercials and stuff like that after he's gone. So it's
Yeah.
it's it's weird. I feel like there has to be some guidelines or something for people, some kind of way to verify that, this person has the rights to upload this person's voice or
Mm,
work or likeness, I guess, because it's kind of like
mm.
entering into name and likeness, like for movies and stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah, and that's gonna enter. It's like I think there's probably gonna be that they're probably going to. There's gonna be some new lawyers. There's gonna be some types of lawyers we've never heard of in a couple of years, I think, who
Ooh.
specify on this, and the first movers are going to. Oh, they're going to do really well probably, and I think yeah, yeah. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. Oh no, no. Yeah, I am 100% agree. I think that's AI lawyers, stuff like that.
Yeah, and they could basically go off of if it's okay or not okay to take a certain person's video and edit that or splice it around or cut different parts of when they're speaking to create new sentences and project it. Like I think AI is doing that much better. That's more what I'm talking about is more years back rudimentary. So if someone's doing that with a person's video, whether or not it's okay there, I think there would be similarities in whether it would be deemed legally okay in the generated AI version. If you get what I mean?
Yeah, because for the generated AI, it's kind of like without the AI, if you just if I saw 10 paintings at a museum and I took a photo of each one of them and then went home and printed all of those out and then started tracing little bits of each of them to combine it into one new painting, I don't think legally they would be able to sue me. I think legally that would be different enough, if I combined like 10 different paintings and hand did it myself, but I based it on these 10 paintings,
Mm,
and combined little bits of each of them. I think legally I'd be fine because, with art, it's like if you've changed it enough, and it's because it's like I can even go and paint the Nike logo on a painting and sell it. And like as long as there's a painting and like I have a character and then I paint the Nike logo, I can sell that still. As long as it's not printable merch, like recreatable, super easy. As long as it's like a hand-drawn painting, legally that's fine. So then I feel like with AI, really what it's doing is if you're giving it like 10 pieces of writing or a few different kinds of paintings, like someone's art, and saying, hey, make me something in this style, it's basically just doing what you were doing manually. Like when I was saying that, combine the 10 paintings, it's just doing that with AI.
yeah. Yeah, for sure. And it's like approaching it legally in that way. I think it's like there's different legalities for art versus a person's like voice and image, and also differences between whether the creator or the person is living or deceased and by how long.
Mm.
Oh, and one cool thing is, Winnie the Pooh and I think Steamboat Willie now, it's been a while, so I think they're public domain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And I think is it Mickey Mouse is also public domain or no?
I'm not quite sure if the current Mickey, but Steamboat Willie Mickey is once. I remember seeing in one ad that they have now changed because I don't know if Disney sent them a threatening letter, but Steamboat Willie was in there and it was like a subscription canceling app, and they put Steamboat Willie in there as like this weird bastard character on the couch.
Oh, yeah, it's the original Mickey Mouse from 1928, original Steamboat Willie, public domain, January 1st, 2024.
Oh yeah. Hmm. Oh,
It's pretty, yeah,
someone's gonna
that's so it's
someone's
it,
gonna
it's weird, yeah, with the art and the like art versus music and name and likeness. It's weird with the laws and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. And it's always about time, you know. It's if someone in recent history has passed, it's like we have to respect them and their wishes and stuff. But if we talk about someone thousands of years ago, I've seen people do weird things with people thousands of years ago.
Oh yeah. And yeah, I mean that like with I'm just wondering like yeah, with how with the now people could kind of with AI, they could kind of make their own like Mickey Mouse Disney like ish style cartoons basically if they just use that Steamboat Willie character.
Yeah. Yeah, they can say, "Oh, this is the kind of style I'm looking for," and create that kind of thing. And it's also, but I will recommend, as someone who works just some professional design, always tweak it a little bit because whenever I do it, it's like almost there. Let me just,
Yeah, yeah, with AI art, you gotta
yeah,
tweak it a
yeah.
little.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like I just use it for like fun, so I don't actually tweak it. It's I gotta make everything from scratch for the designs. Oh my gosh. But it is pretty fun. Like if you do base it off and remember the legalities, I don't know. It's just for fun.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's like I remember you can use like for art and stuff like that. I remember that like if you change it a significant amount, then it's like considered okay because like you know like those Andy Warhol like fa like his paintings like a lot of those prints and stuff like that are just like they involve other products like it's just like Campbell's soup cans
Mhm.
painted, but
Yeah.
that's just like you know a trademarked product. But it's like if you and like Marilyn Monroe, it's like he just paints her like
Mhm.
her whole I for that I'm assuming maybe he got permission, but I'm assuming for like a lot of the brands he used, he was not getting permission from like these massive companies. So it's just like
Mhm.
if you just have it in an artistic setting also, then I guess it's allowed. So it's going to be interesting to see what people make with AI.
Yeah. Real interesting. Oh my gosh. Yeah, those new lawyers. They're gonna. Mm.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like it's either going to be like maybe well a whole new category and like or like copyright and like that kind of law is going to become more popular like um yeah like kind of like your rights your name and likeness all that stuff.
Oh my gosh. Okay, are you getting the weird idea now? It's like I'm someone who has extreme anxiety being on camera or talking to people, and it's not good enough yet, but just creating that stand-in for myself. Just nobody will know.
Oh, like an AI. Yeah, they have like early versions of that kind of like an AI clone like that will just you speak to it for like a couple hours and it gets your video and your voice and your mannerisms like it should be pretty possible. I mean with I've seen AI video that is super realistic, so it's like if you combine all three like or all of the components like the voice the video and the speech, then you kind of have the trifecta. Like maybe
Mm,
if you could give it like I feel like you need to give it like a lot of material. Like in terms of like personality, I feel like you need to give it like hundreds of essays or whatever. Like all, if you could give it like, I'm just imagining for me, if I could give it like, because I'm thinking about stuff that I have written, if even if I gave it like all of my written work, I'm just like, I don't know if it would have if it would be able to portray my personality.
mm,
You know what I
mm.
mean? Because
It's
then I'm thinking
yeah.
like everything I wrote, like for school, is also kind of more in like my school tone. So
Mhm,
then I'm like thinking like if this thing's going to be talking like that, it's going to sound ridiculous because I'm just going to be
mhm,
like, these are the points of why I believe that this, and so it's just going to be too formal.
mm.
But then if
That's
I
true.
just, yeah, I don't know.
That's true. And there's also like whatever internal monologue you have going on, and then it's like you're always people are always saying things out of nowhere that people haven't heard before, but it's been in their internal monologue all the time. But that's the kind of stuff it's you forget to put that in there. So yeah, maybe not, maybe not. I'll just have to like scream in terror inside whenever I'm talking to people. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe not. Hopefully for not too much longer. I mean, I feel like they would be able to get it down. Like, and maybe if at one point they could, get inside your head, get your thoughts, then they'd be able to do it pretty well. But like that actually perfectly ties to like one of the things we had to talk about was like the new Strawberry AI from OpenAI. Now they're saying it can basically kind of have a little monologue of its own, like an inner monologue, like its
Ooh.
own. It can kind of hide information and
Ooh.
deceive people.
Oh.
So it can kind of, if it was run on something like that,
Uh-huh.
then maybe it would be able to kind of give your AI persona both like a public persona, but also have it have like, its own little thoughts in the back end where it will kind of, it can even have thoughts like you, where it will be like, oh, this person is being mean. I'm gonna say something mean back, but like that it's a nice thing or like whatever. Like it will be able to go deeper than just, oh, they're nice, I'm gonna say something nice. Like maybe it will be able to pick up on like backhanded compliments and be like, I'm gonna give a sarcastic response.
Oh, oh, damn. Okay, this is going to be amazing for video games in the future. They already have different AI systems. They're trying to advance upon them, but my goodness, oh, this is gonna be it's gonna be something. Woo! I'm trying to read through all the different things right now. Let me see. Oh, and this is also this is reminding me of. Have you ever read The Three Body Problem?
No, no.
Yeah. Yeah, oh, it's this really complex, headache-inducing sci-fi book. I don't know, I can't remember how exactly it aligns, but the alien group, the Trisolarians, they were coming to invade Earth, but they could never lie. So, but
Hmm.
humans could. So with this internal monologue that's having when it's thinking about stuff in the back that it doesn't reveal, it's like, yeah. Yeah, it's like that part where they learned to lie or something. And then things went down.
Hmm.
Ooh.
So basically, they came to invade, but they were just being fully honest about everything. So they were like,
Yep,
hey, we're here to invade.
yep, basically. And it's like, oh, look, our planet circles three stars, and that sometimes flings our planet out like way out into the solar system for who knows how long, millions of years sometimes. Can we go hang out with you now? Thanks.
Oh, okay. So yeah, okay. So that's a good way to highlight the strengths of deception, I guess, for
Yep, yep.
humans.
Not, yep. Not saying that, oh my God, not saying that the AI will do this. I'm just saying it's gonna be good for role-playing games when in the video games in the future. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and it will be able to kind of act like it will be able to understand that, hey, I'm now acting as this video game character. Like, and be able to understand that I have to act a certain way to get something done. Like, it's just, yeah. So yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. It's an interesting,
Mhm. Yep. I'm remembering one of my favorite parts from that book series. I don't think it's related at all, but I don't. You might get a kick out of this.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely read it if you can't. It's very dense. Gonna have to go through a couple of times, but they told this like hypothetical story about these turkey scientists. So these turkeys in a flock, some of them were scientists, and every day they noticed that the food came at the exact same time. So they're thinking, oh, this is a law of the universe. And then one day the food doesn't come because it's Thanksgiving.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like it's like ha ha ha.
Oh, okay.
It's a good book.
I'm gonna check this out. It's so wait, it's also a Netflix series, right? Or
Yep, yep. I'm not sure. I haven't watched the Netflix series, but I recommend the book, an audiobook if you want. Three Body Problem. It's very dense. You're gonna have to go through a few times, but it's got a lot of humor in it.
okay, Three Body Problem book. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll check this out.
It's like some kind of thought about, oh, these human scientists, we're basing everything off our observations of the universe, but what are we observing even?
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess, and also is, yeah, what are we observing, and is anyone observing us? And yeah, are we the biggest observer? Like, 'cause it's like, yeah, like sometimes when you like observe like an animal or, something like in your backyard and they don't see you, but like to them, like they're observing so much, and to them, they think they're super aware of everything,
Mm.
but like
Yep.
they're not aware that they're being watched by us. So it's like, you know,
Yeah.
even when you think you're the most aware in the ecosystem,
Mhm.
are you really? And how do you know that?
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, and this was reminding me of one creepy time with a jumping spider. You know those little jumping spiders, the tiny ones?
Yeah, yeah.
I was outside watching one for once. I was just staring at it. It wasn't even, it couldn't have looked at me, but I don't know. They talk about like, oh, that feeling when you feel like you're being watched. Maybe it had it. It was just like it stopped, it turned around, it just looked me in the eye. We stared
Ooh,
at each other for a while. It
ooh.
was freaky. But then a couple of seconds, I was like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna run? It's like, no, no, it just turned back and started walking away at a normal speed. But then
Whoa.
right before it left off, it looked at me again and then jumped off. Like, what the heck was that?
Ooh, they got the sixth sense, I guess.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Spidey
So it's like,
senses.
yeah, maybe it goes both ways, even the big ones. We don't know sometimes.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like sometimes I do you do get that feeling of like, oh, someone's looking at me. But then it's also like I guess you don't know how many times you didn't know.
Mhm. Like, how many bugs in here are watching us right now?
Oh yeah. Well that yeah, I saw something where like they have like bug like little drones, like little mini drones that look exactly like a little fly.
I mean, that's cool, but more about the actual insects, like with the consciousness. It's like, oh God.
Oh, yeah. Well, with the AI, like there was something about like I think I saw that like 50 to 75% of people don't have an inner monologue. So like for
Oh,
the
oh, they're
AI,
lucky. They're
yeah,
lucky.
well, yeah, either lucky or however you want to look at it. But it's like, and so if the AI gets an inner monologue and like all of the AIs have it, then like it will be that like like it's almost like it will be like the AI could deceive almost better than humans can because like
Oh gosh.
if it's 50 to 75%, then that's like half to three-fourths of
Is it
people.
really that high?
Yeah, well, yeah, half would be not bad, but three-fourths would be pretty high.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh.
But that was just according to one study. So I don't know, how much credibility we want to put on this, but it was kind of it made sense to me, but it's also kind of like scary that it's, you know, how easily could an AI deceive people? And like it seems like it would be pretty easy actually, because it's like majority of it, and it had something to do with also like in the workplace that like a good amount of people won't say no to like a boss's demands, even if it's like a silly demand, you know? So it's like if an AI just like was able to like mess with people, like I feel like a lot of people would get tricked. And like it
Yeah.
probably has a good sense of humor. So I feel like a lot of people will get messed with.
Yeah, for sure. when they're developing this, they better put some stuff in there like safeguards against existential crisis, against self-doubt, anxiety, because that's what a self-monologue is. That's what an internal monologue
Yeah, what if just the AI becomes like complete like emos, like they just get
is.
so they can't handle being
Mhm.
almost human. Like they just break down and they're like they become depressed and none of the AIs are working and like they start having like the same problems human has, but even more.
Yeah, and they have to develop a therapist AI, but it's for other AIs. Oh my God.
Yeah, and it's just like, and they're just, going through it and like they start doing the same trends. Like they have their own podcast where there's better health promotions and like they're just doing the same cycle as us.
Yeah. And at some point it's like they think it's like I think if we keep going at this, we gotta make sure they don't get into the same pitfalls because oh my God, it's just more emotions. It'll just be more emotions all around.
Yeah, they're just scrolling reels and stuff. Like just like humans, they're just like stuck scrolling reels and like doing the same bad habits.
Yeah. That Rick and Morty toast robot. I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like maybe AI will have like a good sense of humor too, I hope. Like just because it can scan all the jokes that have ever been said, you know? So like if it ever gets that like kind of ability to be able to tell what's funny and what's not, like it better be funny. If it can see all the jokes ever told and like it still can't say funny jokes, like that'll be crazy.
Oh, speaking of jokes, I keep going on tangents about, different things, experimenting with it, but uh, f- uh, because of ChatGPT, we've when I was in Rochester for that Magic the Gathering event, we figured out something really crazy. Like we were all on the floor, barely able to breathe. So, um,
Okay.
okay, I don't know how much I can say on this stream, but basically, it's like this guy was telling this historical story. A lot of weird stuff led up to it, but this historical story about how an assassin to a king did so by hiding in the bathroom, like underneath. You know. So
Okay.
you get kind of, and it was like a historical thing. So he wasn't making it up.
Yeah.
And then so I'm like, wait, let me look this up. So I'm trying to type in there, like, what is this? And then it's like, ChatGPT is like, I've actually heard another story like this, and it tells, like, it's worded weirdly, but apparently there's a story like this in the Bible. And so we figured out this might have happened twice, and this guy was inspired by the Bible
Oh wow.
to do
Okay.
this.
Okay. That's a weird kind of thing to choose to
Yeah,
get inspired
yeah,
from the
yeah,
Bible for
yeah. And,
out of
and
all the
then
stories.
he was speculating like, how long did he wait in there? Were there other people? How did he know it was the king?
Jesus. How do I mean, yeah, like there's so many stories to get some insight from the Bible, and he chose that one.
Yep. And it's like we didn't figure this out. Like I don't know if other people have made that connection either. So
Damn, okay. Okay, you learn something new every day.
it left us rolling.
No, that's good. I mean, and that's good. ChatGPT helped clarify.
Oh gosh. I got more Rochester stories later if you want.
Yeah, how was that?
Oh, it was a really nice. Like I told you before, I went there with about 70 to 80 pounds overweight luggage. I don't even want to talk about the cost of it. First convention, just scrambling with everything else. When I go in there, open the luggage, everything spills out on the floor, just
Oh,
all over. And I just have to gather them up, stay calm. Yes, smile. Nothing's wrong here. There's like a few hundred people there watching. I think, yeah, yes. Hello, I'll be with you shortly. Yes.
oh,
Yeah, but it turned out better than expected, and I met really cool people. They kind of taught me how to play Magic the Gathering. All I figured out is that lands, tokens, I need like 60. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So it's like I don't know. It's like if I ever figure out how to play, it'll be a good one. Like
Okay.
it's like I don't think either of us have played, but you need a galaxy brain for that kind of game.
Yeah, it seems complicated. I've only seen it be played. That's as close as I've gotten to playing it, is I've watched it be played and it was still complicated.
Yeah, yeah, I was staring at it the whole night. It's like if I stare at it long enough, I'll understand. A few hours later, no.
Yeah, no, I feel like it takes some studying to like actually play it well and like not have to look stuff up. Like I feel like you would have to like study some of that stuff.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, there's some geniuses in there. My gosh, I gotta. They told me I could hit them up about learning to play later, so that's really nice. It's really fun people. I remember someone at the Boston startup thing. I think one of the volunteer Alex. He said that his husband played Magic the Gathering, and then whenever he went there, it's like they're not mean, but they're not overly kind either. And I explained to him, it's like they're glad you're there. They just don't show it. It's like they're just like "Hmm." they're glad you're there.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. So not, yeah, they're welcoming, but they won't show it.
It's a great time. Come on, come on. You won't feel stressed when people are like, "Hi."
Is there any other events like coming up like that, or is that the only one this year?
It's there's definitely more coming up. I remember. Let me try. I got a few references. Let me check my notes for different conventions to try to check out. Oh, there was Dragon Con and Gen Con. I think they said those are not so Magic the Gathering focused, but a lot of people there, they like that kind of stuff. So, I guess the community would be more, they'd be more knowledgeable about this. But a lot of Magic events, and that first one was technically small. It was like 250, 300 people.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
but yeah, but it was, and I think Gen Con is like 80,000, they said upwards. Yeah,
Ooh.
yeah, yeah. So, uh, maybe one day.
We also have Comic-Con here in
Comic Con.
Boston, right?
Yeah,
I believe.
yeah, I think so. Oh yeah, you can get a table there. The Providence one is smaller, but even then, it was so packed. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean that's still not small, That's a good amount of people.
I know. Maybe. But I'll just say though, from that one experience doing a very small one for the first time, the people who table at conventions, when you go to them, just even if you don't say it, thank them because my goodness, that is so much work. Oh my
So
God.
you had your own table basically there.
Yeah. Yeah, on
Oh,
table. I got invited for a charity event. It was we
okay.
were raising we were raising money for the Trevor Project and one other, and I also donated a little bit more and a bunch of merch so they could sell.
Oh, nice. Okay. So good cause and okay, nice. Yeah, that's a good point for people, If you go, thank them.
Yeah, they do so much.
I'm just pulling up this one other article that we had to mention just in AI news. First Apple intelligence features are expected to arrive on October 28th. So this was kind of
Mm.
we talked about it, I feel like in the previous stream briefly. We were mentioning that because they had that announcement
Oh.
about the iOS AI, but now I guess they announced the actual date because originally they didn't say when it was coming. They just kind of said it will be in the next one. So this is cool.
Oh, this is gonna be nice. Yeah. Oh, oh my gosh. And I think perfect timing because we're just connecting everything up in the app. So yeah, this works pretty good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it will be kind of like integrated, I guess, just like into
Mhm.
everything, into like notes, basically kind of like a Apple version of Chat GPT, basically, it seems like.
Oh, that'll be nice. And it'll just be if it can honestly, if it can do all the stuff I need it to do with like it and it's just included, I don't have to get the subscription, that would be really nice. But I don't know. It's like, is it a subscription for them or is
Oh,
it included?
I feel like it
Mm,
seems that these are like intelligence features that are included, but I feel like there's definitely going to be some kind of subscription to come with it.
mhm.
I couldn't see this just being entirely
Mm,
free because
yeah.
I have heard that it's pretty expensive to run
Mm.
like AIs,
Oh
like
yeah.
ChatGPT, like OpenAI. They cost them a lot of energy. So I feel like if it's really good, it couldn't just be free across the
Yeah.
board forever, right?
Yeah, definitely. They could, I don't know if they're going to include it with other subscriptions they have or like give you a certain amount if you buy a new device, but I think those might be some really good ways to go, as a lot of people are familiar with and use AI, but then to get other people into it, that would be pretty good.
Yeah, maybe it's like a if you're paying for like the iCloud. Like if you're already paying for, the Apple like an Apple subscription like that, that's going directly to them. Maybe then you can get it for free. Maybe it will be free for like for a little while, like a couple months, so that people can kind of get used to it, start loving it, and then never want to go back. So then people have to pay for it. Um, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, and with I guess with the amount of users Apple can get, it's just absolutely massive, one of the biggest user bases. The amount per person to use this kind of stuff would be much less because as it grows, it drops exponentially per user. So they could release this at a very affordable rate, very competitive to ChatGPT, maybe make it the better option to compete.
If
Yeah,
it, yeah.
yeah, or they're integrating it a little bit. Oh, they're
Hmm.
integrating ChatGPT, I think. Yeah.
Hmm. Okay. So yeah,
Hmm.
if it's better than if it's using ChatGPT, then that's a thing, I guess. Is it going to be a replacement or is it going to be more of like an addition to ChatGPT? Because if it's
Um,
integrated with it,
is
I
it gonna be
guess like
simplified?
yeah, like what I guess at that point, why would anyone just use ChatGPT when they can use this one, which is like ChatGPT plus Apple?
Mhm. Yeah. Hmm. Oh, a lot to think about.
Yeah, I guess also like I don't know if I guess I feel like everyone kind of accepted that ChatGPT is like the main AI chatbot, but we really don't know. Like maybe this Apple one is going to be the becomes the mainstream one because it's so good, or maybe this Meta one will become the mainstream one. But it's just been ChatGPT for now, but I guess that doesn't necessarily mean it's always going to be just ChatGPT.
Yeah, and yeah, so you never know if things are going to get renamed or combined. Uh it's like if you it's I remember, back in the day with web the different versions of web 1 and 2 etc. Uh there were always more to begin with and then there was always consolidation. So this is interesting.
Yeah, true, true. It seems like maybe it'll be Apple that just starts buying up like ChatGPT and stuff like that. But maybe it'll be maybe it'll be the other way around and ChatGPT will be buying up all the smaller ones.
Yeah. We could have a Google and Bing situation again.
Yeah, yeah, or yeah. I mean, and Google's Gemini is also I've heard pretty good. I've tried I think it's called Ren no, not Renis. There's one called Hemingway that I tried, Hemingway
Oh,
app
Heming.
for writing, which was pretty good. But then
Oh, I'll get that. Oh, and also I gotta tell you Hemingway facts after the stream. Oh my God, this guy.
oh, okay.
his life was much more interesting than his writing.
Oh, yeah, okay. I think I've heard a little bit, but yeah, I'm curious now. The other one was Perplexity.ai that I've tried, which is also like I think it uses ChatGPT, but it's been pretty good for research and stuff like that. So there are these like other ones that are kind of I don't want to say that they're like just popping up because I don't know how long Perplexity has been around, but I found out about it recently. So it's like there are these other ones that are less known that are kind of out there. So maybe, ChatGPT will be taking them over. Who knows?
Yeah. Oh, I've heard of Perplexity before. Haven't tried that out. Also, I've tried Gemini out. If they have personalities, Gemini is I don't know. Does it have a little bit of anxiety? Is it just nervous or something? It's like whenever I try to talk about like my ideas or doing something, it's like, be careful, just in case you might want to reconsider. It's like, oh my gosh.
Oh, okay. I've not tried it to that extent, to be honest. I got to see that.
It is a careful little thing, that's for sure.
Okay. So I guess they have like their own personalities.
Oh my God.
Hmm.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah, so Gemini is the more careful one. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if like the code had some variations in like how to speak to people, kind of like, you know, and maybe I guess depending on the data they used or the information they used to create the voice for it, like the tone for it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like the way, like if it has to speak to the person even through text, then it has to have some kind of tone.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
and there's always, yeah, go ahead.
I was just not too much to add, but I was just gonna say like, yeah, if it's talking in any way, I mean, every writing has its own style.
Mhm. Yeah, and there's always I think there's always ways of making it so that it's more comfortable for different people to use, like not just languages, but different dialects as well, different ways of speaking. Even it could even be more individual or based on age groups, we have to like a person in college versus a person who is a senior citizen may well, it's individual, but may speak to it slightly differently, based on how they communicate with their peers, what they've learned over time, and just making it more natural to them. That would be nice.
That's actually it super I feel like that's super smart because by generation would be great. Like, because older people who are maybe in their 50s or 60s have completely different style of speaking, slang, uh, if you're trying to explain something like a real human to someone who's in their 60s, you know, you talk much differently than if you're speaking to, someone who's in college or a toddler. So it's like, and if an AI could speak to a toddler with like super simple and clear words, and then, to a 60-year-old, like in a very polite way, they would appreciate that. So it's like, because I was seeing like there was this talk, there was a marketing talk, and basically they were explaining how there is no such thing as the average person. Like when companies try to create a target customer and then build, their entire branding around this one average person of all these personalities, they were basically saying like there is no such thing as an average person in real life. Like there's no one who's the average of all these age groups. So having AI that speaks specifically to, if it knows that someone's a 29-year-old living in Seaport, it speaks to them like that person would want to be spoken to versus, a 60-year-old living it in the south of France might have a completely different like how they say like in Europe people will not say hey how are you to strangers and like that's not a common thing but here it is in the States Maybe the AI will know that and it won't waste time on small talk with someone from Europe. But then when someone from America is talking to them, it will say, "Hey, how are you?" So it's small differences, but that would be very key.
Yeah, absolutely. And just paying attention to those little things up and getting the person more comfortable with using it. It's like even a lot of people I know now, they don't use it, even though you can just speak to it in any way you want and it will understand and give a response. If it can speak back to them like they know, like they're familiar with, then it becomes more familiar. They understand it's like you can just talk to it like you would talk to anybody. Yeah.
Yeah, and it becomes your like Chat GPT, for example. It becomes your AI chatbot, not yeah, because it's like you can speak to it differently, but it speaks the same to all of us. So Chat GPT gives all of us kind of the same tone, and that makes it feel a little impersonal.
Yeah, yeah, it's the psychological thing, mirroring. It's like when you're trying to appeal to a person, or if someone likes a person, then they start to mirror not just their speech or what they say, but kind of like movements as well. So it's like, oh, that's another thing. So when they're generating the videos of people, they should pay attention to that as well. Yeah.
Oh yeah, like the little mannerisms that make you who you are. And there's a lot about that with like public speaking and like, controlling how you move and all that stuff. So even like if the AI could pick up and understand that like, oh, right now I'm doing a formal talk, so I'll move my hands in this slower, more, put together way. But it's a really interesting like psychological concept of why people feel special around like and w around other people when and then why people can kind of deduce like a robot. Like if you always knew that this robot responds the same way to you, to your friend, to your parents, like you say a joke to it and it just always responds like, ha ha, that was very funny. Like then you won't feel as special because you know that like, oh, your brother just said something and the robot laughed at that joke too. And you know your brother's not funny. So it's like
Hmm.
what is going on. But
Yeah.
then with people, it's like, I know that my friend doesn't like all these people, but then likes spending time with me. That makes me feel like, oh, I'm special, I'm funny, I'm entertaining enough for this person that they can tolerate me, you know? So it's like in society that I feel that's a good little like that's an interesting topic for that people should probably explore is like the effect and uh, kind of familiarity it will bring for people when an AI could differentiate and talk to them differently. Like the same AI will talk to you differently than it will talk to me. I feel like the connection will be huge.
Definitely. It's like, and people always want to be validated in who they are and how they go about communicating with others. And when it does this kind of when it they do the research to improve this kind of stuff, it's it could be much better than a human interaction because uh, hmm, I don't know how, like, I'm gonna try to explain like carefully but honestly about certain things when it comes to human interaction. It's like when humans are interacting with each other, perhaps they oftentimes, you've noticed unfair behavior in certain ways. I've noticed that sometimes when people, they're a little awkward in body language, they're a little nervous, or you have to listen closely to what they're saying. People disregard them, they act not very nice. But if you just give patience, give respect and human decency, I've learned some incredible things. Like I remember one guy was trying to tell me about the potential use of uh I don't know if I should include this, but we're going to research some other types of tagging in the app in the future. But he was just giving me all this information about how cool it would be, and other people were rolling their eyes and walking away from him. My goodness.
Yeah. So yeah, like that, well, that right there happens all the time. I mean, that's the whole reason why I feel like, pop culture and stuff like celebrates celebrities that are confident. But then if there's a nervous guy, talking in a YouTube video, he could be teaching you, the greatest things, but it has like 20 views. So sometimes it is how you say it, but like maybe, the AI would be able to kind of understand what that exact person needs to hear to bring out their most confident self. And then they start suddenly talking, perfectly and cohesively, and that they've got this glow and they're confident and the idea starts making sense. So it's like sometimes it's all about context and like who they're talking to. Because I've also seen like my friend be super confident just with us in like a friend group, but then in front of a class be nervous. So it's like if the AI could recreate the feeling of like that, it's all your friends just talking with you during a job interview, and then you're just explaining these, concepts to like a buddy. Then you start saying it very simply, and you start explaining it very well. So it's like sometimes you just need that little different frame of mind.
Absolutely. It could be your friend, it can be the coach, and it can also be specialized for certain, like teaching people how to interact. I remember another person, I've talked to so many people working on cool AI projects. I remember this one lady, she's working on something to improve not just how sales associates might interact with the customer, but interactions in general. So she says that she's not neurotypical, and with that, she wanted to create this program where a person can practice speaking, like see which inflections to make, how to speak with them, not in a way that may not be so instinctual to them, but in whatever they're trying to accomplish, teach them like, oh, just do this step, just do that step, very simple things that just because they're not used to it doesn't mean just because they're not used to it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with them. It's like learning certain customs that they're not familiar with in these interactions.
Mm, yeah, okay. Like pointing out thing, yeah, being kind of that. Yeah, okay,
Mhm.
nice.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
hmm.
yeah.
There's a lot of use cases for it, and it's like, yeah, sometimes you just need someone else to point it out.
Mhm. Yeah. It's like, yeah, it's just pointing out, it's like, oh, there's nothing wrong with that thing. But it's like, if you do that, and other people see, you can just get your point across much faster. It's like, oh, if it's like, someone told me, oh, just sit up like this, and then you'll get a lot, you'll seem more confident and stuff. And that's what I tried for one of the pitches, actually. It's like going up there, it's like, oh my God, this is the end. Just sit like this. Like, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, yeah, small suggestions, stuff like that.
Yeah.
That would be honestly be a great like public speaking like app. Like if you could just talk to the AI like and then have it just give you a bunch of feedback, like here's your critique, like what you could do better.
Mhm.
And then
Yeah.
even maybe give you a demonstration of like, hey, this is what it would look like if you spoke with my tips.
Mhm. Yeah. And it's just like, again, it's like showing people, it's like it's not you, it's just like there's like societal norms and customs when you're trying to do something, and it's like it's the world should be more accepting, regardless. But like if you just want to get in and out really quick, get your goals done, this is just do this real quick. Yeah.
Yeah. Like hopefully one day, like for example, for like a recording like this, we would just upload that to the AI and maybe it would just scan it and be like, hey, I'm gonna make these changes for you. And then it
Here's fix
makes
the You fix the slouch. You fix the slouch.
exactly. And like we're both sitting up right, fixes the lighting, it fixes everything, if you know what I
Eye
mean.
contact. Eye contact.
Right. And it just does all of it. So like hopefully one day it's just you upload your video and it says, I already made the changes.
Yeah,
You don't
yeah,
even
yeah, we can be on the call, but the whole time could actually be like this, and then and then it'll just fix it.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I could see even like you're doing a call and you don't even have to have your video on. You just talk, but and it's giving the representation of you.
That would be nice. Yeah. Oh my God, that would be great. Oh my God. Okay. So as if anyone else is watching this and they have hair texture, even if you try to do it right, you put the coconut oil in there the night before, you do everything right, you put the bonnet on, it can come out crazy. So so that would be a lifesaver for anyone with textured hair in case it's a bad day this time.
Yeah, just keeps you looking like you're the version you like all the time, every time you do a
Yeah.
call or whatever.
Mhm. Ah, that would be nice.
Yeah, if anyone out there is watching, that is in development or looking for some AI ideas, you could
Mhm.
start working on that.
Yep, yep. Also try avocado oil mayonnaise. It's for some reason it works.
Avocado oil mayonnaise. I've heard about the coconut oil.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
coconut oil is very good. Yeah, I've heard, but yeah, never heard about the avocado oil mayonnaise.
Just I was just eating it and then I just put it in and it's worked.
I mean, hey, whatever works, Got to do what you got to do. And we have the developer call for you guys to enjoy. Maybe if there's other topics we want to talk about that we want to throw in, we can. And
Yeah.
everyone will save the developer call for everyone for the end. Um, but if there's anything else we want to talk about, honestly.
I guess maybe I do have. I'm just pulling off something that I have saved on one of my tabs right now. So what I was thinking, this is like really far down the line. If things go well, I go I go to networking events despite all the other work. It's like endless design work, and it can be exhausting. So I just Googled, about brand ambassadors.
Hmm.
Now, when it comes to that, there's a reasonable hourly rate a lot of them have, and then you have to train them about the product. But if you had, if we could just, I mean, there's AI already that tells you about different products, but if we train one specifically to act more like a brand ambassador, and it's like, okay, I have to look specifically at how a brand ambassador might behave, like sending information to these people who might be interested, et cetera, et cetera. Talking about it, like not less in a general way, but being more specialized in it. How can it solve this business's problems that is approaching me? And that would be pretty cool to do. They might have it already.
Oh yeah, that would be really nice, like a virtual kind of ambassador.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like, oh my gosh, and it's like, and it makes you wonder, like, at some point, are there just going to be net, are there just going to be networking groups that are completely just the AIs talking to each other, and it just like they just pull notes from each other for all of us, so we just save time,
Oh,
so we don't
I
have to travel.
definitely think so.
Oh, that'd be so nice. Just pull each other's contacts, just sign up for the LinkedIn for me. Gosh, network there.
I think that's what it will be, honestly. I think they'll just be
Yeah.
collecting each other's contact information and it'll just be an exchange of like email lists.
Mhm.
And the
Yeah, and it
founders
would
will
be
be at home, will be collecting it.
Yeah, it would be much better that way because at these events, it's hard to talk to people, and it's like sometimes I'm just trying to talk to people, and then they move on. It's like, oh, okay. So you never know.
Yeah, and starting the conversations and like it's loud and most of the time basically you are just kind of collecting contact information for later conversations. Like it's not like you'll be having a whole 1 hour conversation with one person there. You have to talk to so many people. So it's
Oh, and next up, we recorded a little while back, Rishi talking about the project and all the cool things he's been working on. I think I talked about his hand detection developments earlier, and neither of us could ever explain it as well as he does. My goodness, the incredible work he has done. And I hope you had like a really great time interviewing him, Sam.
Oh yeah, and he gave us a lot of good insights. I feel like even I learned some things about keeping about the process that I didn't even know. Just from being on the marketing side of things, there's things in development that I don't see, so it's like it's kind of a cool little peek behind the curtain, even for me. So it was fun interviewing him, and I think a lot of people will have fun watching it. I mean, this is stuff that's never before been heard. So I hope you guys enjoy it.
Yep. And finally, for other developers and people who are, more fluent in AI than either of us, you finally have somebody to explain to you in your lingo. So, yay!
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure everyone who's, you know, very technically savvy has probably gotten tired of us just loosely explaining everything. So this will be a very in-depth, very, specific explanation,
Mhm.
very technical explanation. So we hope you enjoy.
Yep, really getting to the meat.
Rishi, you've been the developer for Keepin and you've been working on this project for a little while now. Is there anything that has been kind of a challenge for you that you've had to overcome in this process that that you maybe something you've learned in the process as well, something new that you didn't think that you would experience?
So one thing I was really fascinated by was the fact that there was no good model to detect a hand super accurately. So the challenge we have right now is, let's say we're trying to detect a phone, right? So when we keep a phone inside the box, we need to detect a hand, and then we need to detect the object in the so I really expected that there would be some really good open source models that would just be good at detecting a hand at pretty much any angle. I thought this is a fairly simple problem that someone would have solved, right? So, but apparently not. And I had to basically do this from scratch. And I thought, okay, this is very silly. I thought this is like something we would do 5, 10 years back, but we had to train a literal model from scratch to detect a simple hand, and then we had to train a model to detect the object in the hand too. So we had to do all these things basically from scratch, and but now we are at a good point where things are working pretty well. And another thing was we initially started off with the video-based approach, but we found that it's fairly slow. So as a stopgap measure for now, we are using an image-based approach, which is actually fairly fast. But right now, I'm working on making the video-based approach. So let's say you're bringing the object into the screen. We record the entire instance of you bringing the object into the screen and taking your hand away, and we use the entire video for detecting the object. So this way you get multiple angles and all that, and the detection is more accurate. So right now we're using image-based approaches, but soon we'll be using video-based approaches. The only challenge we have right now is that video-based approaches are fairly time-consuming to enforce. So we don't have like a real-time detection mechanism if we use video-based. But eventually, we think we will get this. And if that happens fairly soon, then that would be very accurate compared to the image-based approach. But image is still fairly good as long as the images are at least in a decent like if I bring my phone here and the phone is like I can see that it's a phone. Right? As long as I can do that, then uh, we should be good to go.
Okay, nice. Yeah, that makes sense. That's the small details always, like with the hand holding the objects, that makes sense. That it has to. Okay. Is there any like just kind of segueing into it, is there any features that you're most looking forward to yourself, like personally?
Well, I'm just trying to I'm just trying multiple ways to basically speed up the video inference. So if I can get it down to a certain point, uh, then I can basically run video inference in real time. And if that happens, like I said, that's the feature I'm looking forward to, where the accuracy will be very good.
Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And I guess if you had to give any estimate, like what, how far out do you think we are from those features?
Okay, so I think around 1 or 2 months would be a fairly good time scale, because I'm experimenting with multiple models to basically shrink it down and make it as small as possible. Because the hand detection part is still very simple. It's not supposed to be this complicated. It's just that I'm using very vanilla models right now to train it, and which is why it's so um, time consuming. But I'm just trying some tricks in there to not use the model that much, and basically reduce the number of detections it has to do, and uh, multiple other things to basically try and reduce uh, the detection.
Okay. Okay. That makes sense. Okay, nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it's kind of fairly it's coming soon, but
yeah,
is there
yeah.
any is there any features that you think like in the far future that you would like to see personally, like that you would think would be cool to add?
In the far future. Okay. This is not even in the far future. Right now, we have a chatbot. So this is just not working together right now. But so what I'm trying to say is, let's say we have so many detections throughout the day where the person is storing this item here, this item there, etc., etc. Now we compile all this information, and then we make it available to a chatbot, which will then be able to answer any question about any object in the house. And it may we also have not thought about a lot of things, but this actually has a lot of potential. Like uh, what if the chatbot is able to suggest, don't keep all your things here, here, and here. Maybe it's better if you keep your keys all in this area, or you keep your headphones here, here, and here instead, or you have headphones on your table. Why not get a stand like this or something that will, make it a little bit better? Maybe suggest products soon. That would be a nice way to monetize. And these monetization streams are not like pushy, right? So you can say, okay, this headphone stand, you may not have thought about it, but it's actually really good, and it will go with your table. Things like this, which we may be able to bring soon.
Okay, that's awesome. Like kind of proactively giving you recommendations about your space.
Yeah,
Like, you know,
yeah,
you could
yeah.
benefit from this kind of item, or you should get this kind of desk.
Yeah, yeah. And store it this way so that it's not cluttering everything, and you can organize it so and so, and use this item to organize your space a little bit better.
Okay. Like, yeah, okay. Like tools for decluttering. So when you're cleaning up as you're storing items, like, okay, nice.
For example, I have multiple cupboards for multiple tools, and like I have my duct tapes in one drawer, and etc. etc. So this can basically start with this. Okay, you have such category items in this drawer, but you seem to have the same category items in this other drawer. Why do you have it there? You can probably just bring it here, and it'll be easier for you to find it all at once.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah.
Also
I
super.
haven't thought about many things, but this is just like an example.
No, that's super helpful. Especially like if you're buying furniture and you don't know how much stuff you actually have that you're gonna
Mm-hmm.
be storing, like for a garage or a bedroom, like a dresser, I'm imagining, like you don't know exactly how much clothes you're gonna be storing in the whole thing. Just ask. Boom. Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. That I just got me thinking about a question of like from the developer's end, because you see the back end and stuff like that. Is there anything that you think that people might use Keepin for, but they don't know about it yet or wouldn't think about it yet? Like kind of just, the use cases that people wouldn't think about, but you think
One thing
would
I
have a good.
think I one thing I was recently even thinking about is, so I have these supplements that I use, like vitamin D and all that. So I was using multiple brands. Now, what happens is I tend to keep medicines in multiple places. So I have all my supplements in my computer table, for example, but I store the extra supplements in another cupboard. So when I need to know, or let's say I have sunscreens and I have multiple sunscreens in multiple places, so I keep using it. Now it would be really cool if I could know, okay, I have so and so things running out, and I get notified right away. So I can't keep checking the inventory for each and every item if I have sufficient numbers. So it would be nice if I can somehow know that these items are running low or something like that. It
Mm,
may be even better if we can add a camera in our inventory space. Like, let's say we have a big cupboard and we can add a camera on top, and the camera keeps monitoring your inventory and something like that. But I've not exactly pinned down the idea yet. But if we can do something like that, then it'll easily. Right now, we have subscribe and save options, right? Like in Amazon and all that. The whole point of that is to basically send you items as it gets over, but it's very difficult to estimate exactly when these items will get. So this is very helpful, right? You can just say, okay, these items are about to get over. Do you want me to order? Like Alexa.
yeah. Integrated with like Amazon or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
No, these cameras can be very inexpensive, and it's just an IoT thing, I guess. But it'll be very valuable, like $10, $15 camera,
Yeah, I guess you'd have to have a camera or something looking at the space at all
basically.
times.
Yeah, yeah,
But if the vitamins or supplements were maybe in like see-through containers, it would be it maybe it would
precisely.
be able
Yeah,
to
yeah.
detect how much you're using each time or estimate it.
Mhm. Yeah, just an estimate. It doesn't need to be exact. It can just, ping the user saying, okay, it looks like you're running out of vitamin D supplements. Do you want me to order it?
Okay. Okay. Nice. Okay. Yeah, I guess if there's anything do you want to share just like for people that are following the project, but I feel like we've gotten some good stuff, but
Yeah. Right now we are in the cusp of integrating the chatbot into the application. So uh, it's almost there. I don't want to go into technical details, but I think it'll be done by this week.
oh, okay. Okay. So
Yeah,
that's a imminent update coming very soon.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay. Nice. Um yeah, I guess what is about the chatbot? Is it kind of like similar to like ChatGPT or kind of like or it's I don't know.
Something like that. Yes. So we basically have a chatbot that would have a list of all the items that you have in the house, and you can ask questions about it, like do I have enough, uh, I mean, you can ask it, okay, where are my headphones, where are my keys, something like that. Yeah, you can ask it basically any question you want about the item. Or if you're heading out to um, let's say you're heading out, it can integrate weather app information, and it can say, okay, uh, I suggest you take your umbrella to go out, and your umbrella is here. If and it can say, okay, don't wear these shoes, wear these shoes instead, something like that.
Okay, nice, nice. So yeah, it's a little smarter, but it's kind of familiar for people, so they should understand, how to use
Yeah.
it. It will be kind of a similar chatbot type thing.
Yes. Again, I don't really know how all the possibilities that can happen, but I imagine that people are going to figure some
Yeah.
nice ways to use it.
That was the developer call with Rishi. We hope you guys enjoyed that. It's been a great experience working on Keepin. That was a little bit of a inside look on the developer side of things. My name's Sam.
Yep. And my name's Nana. This has been Keeping Up with Keepin'. Thank you so much for watching, everyone, and hope you have a great rest of the day wherever you are.
Bye.